hello, successful souls. My goodness, you are in for a treat today for today's Inner Feminine Beast interview. Today, I'm honestly introducing you to one of my favorite people in the whole world. The funny part is I've known her for years, but now I have the pleasure of calling her a client inside the VIP Inner Circle. Now, as a reminder, the VIP Inner Circle is my group program and container where I work with very successful women and I help them with their sales strategies and everything to do with their business consulting. So I want you today to meet Miss Tara Antler. Tara, here she comes.
Hi, so grateful to be here.
Thank you so much. I know everybody is interested in hearing about your experience, all the things that's been going on inside the VIP Inner Circle. But before we do, I'd love for you to share with the world exactly what it is you do and how you serve your clients, because I know that you are not a newbie. You've been in your industry for over 21 years, have amazing expertise, have worked with some top celebrity coaches in the world, and I'm excited for everyone to learn a little bit more about what it is that you do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so grateful to be here. And I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, wow, we've known each other almost 3 years, and it's just been such a beautiful expansion and experience to know you and now to be a part of your world in this way. I'm so grateful. So I call myself an intuitive healer, a soul coach, a spiritual mentor. And there's so much to that. There's so much to being able to help clients and help people. First, I would say clear out the ick and the stick is what I call it. That heavy stuff, the thickness, the things that bog us down, that clog our pipes. Clean that out so that doesn't weight us anymore, and then really be able to connect to that higher divine being that we are. I believe that we all have these soul codes or sparks of light and frequencies, high frequencies within us to express on the planet in a unique way. And so when we get to access that higher expanded version of ourselves, bring it in, bring it down, ground it, embody it, then we truly get to play in a really fun way, because we start creating heaven on earth, joy on earth, abundance on earth, health on earth, in our body and in our experience. And so 21 years ago, this coming August is when I first officially started my business. And it's had many twists and turns and expansion moments. I was literally just talking about this today because we're in a launch right now too. And I was thinking back to when I worked at the Ministry of Health. So I finished university 4 years. Then I went back into college, private college for holistic health care. And while I was there, I was working at the Ministry of Health. And I remember going into that saying, I'm only going to give myself 5 years here, because I didn't want to get pulled in to that other world. I really wanted to make sure that I set I don't know what you want to call it, maybe an intention, a goalpost to say, if I'm here more than 5 years, like, please, universe, kick my butt into high gear and get me into making this business go, right? And in doing that, I remember when I hit that 5-year mark, and intuitively, I got the little tap on the shoulder, and Spirit was like, you're coming up to 5 years. And I'm like, I know. And I was so excited because I was working full time at the ministry and building my business part-time, weekends and evenings. So I was working 7 days a week, but it didn't feel like work, because what I get to do doesn't feel like work. It's so fun that I get to do that every day. And I remember sitting there intuitively and asking, I'm like, okay, when would you like me to finish my time at the ministry? And they said 2 weeks. It was November 15th. And I'm like, 2 weeks? I'm like, oh my God. And I freaked out. I had one of those freak out moments where I'm like, really? I'm going to jump into my business full time in 2 weeks? There's no way. I'm not ready for that. And I did. And I put my resignation letter in, and it was like the universe totally supported my yes. And it backed me up. Resources came in from out of the blue. Abundance came in out of places that I didn't expect. And since then, like 21 years later, it's the same thing. It's the same process of getting to those crossroads and those moments of, okay, what's next? Like, I can feel the growth. I feel something big is about to happen, and listening. And I love one of your sayings, the follow it through, right? I actually spoke into that today about the follow through, like being able to take that step from an aligned action place. And so there's so much I can share with you about my journey, but I'll just pause there because it's, and I'm a mom too. We have twins who are going to be 4, and Aria, she's 6 now. So life is busy, beautiful, awesome.
That's what we've had so many things in common since the day that we met. I'm a very intuitive woman myself, and I believe that business is a spiritual practice. And so I love that you are such a spiritual and intuitive woman. I love the fact that you have 3 children. Are they all under the age of 3? Is that right?
Well, when I first started online, when I first met you, they were all under the age of 3. So our twins, Aria was 2.5. The twins came along, and we were like, we have 3 little ones, 3 and under. And we had just brought our businesses online because we had only ever done in person. And that's when I crossed paths with you, and it was, total game changer. So yeah.
But I see you in Mexico, and then I see you in Canada, and then I see you on the beaches, and then I see you in wood cabins, and you're traveling and running your business with your husband. Honestly, that is the most beautiful thing in the world. And we're going to talk more about that. But the other thing we have in common too is that you call it the universe tapped you. I wish I got tapped, but I got the bus. You know what I mean? I skipped the tapping. Actually, it came and I ignored it. But we both kind of said, you know what? We identified that we were not where we were supposed to be. And we decided to follow that calling. And we understand that the work that we're doing now truly is our purpose, and we're serving. And so I just am so proud of you. And what's so fun is that in 3 years, both of us have experienced massive amount of success, and together we've been growing. And I think it's so wonderful. And I was just blown away when I got the email that says Miss Tara Antler is now a client inside the VIP Inner Circle. So let's actually go back to that moment, because it was during the Sales Strategy Made Simple workshop that I was first launching this program of Mind the Container. And I remember hearing from you that you didn't catch any of the sessions. It was a 5-day event, and you saw the Q&A session. After seeing the Q&A session, you were like, you know what? Screw it. I'm in. And not only did you come in, you decided to become a VIP Platinum member, which means you get a one-on-one session with me every other month. So let's go back to that moment. And what was it that made you be like, heck yeah, to sign up for VIP Inner Circle?
Yeah, I remember when we first crossed paths, I felt you as a sister, like I knew you vibrationally, energetically, and I was so grateful that you were my point of contact, because there were so many places that we could connect on where we got each other. And I remember when we were chatting and I said, gosh, you need to be doing something like intuitive business or something. Do you remember we were talking about that?
No,
right.
yeah.
And I said, you got to do something like intuitive business counseling, coaching, something like that, And I kept seeing this for you. And I knew intuitively, I'm like, I know there's going to come a day where she's going to step into that fully. And I knew even then, I was like, when that day comes, there's going to be a time where our paths are going to cross again, like that, right? And it's going to be magic. And so I sat and I waited and, did my thing and growing my business and expanding. And I get chills on my face and in my ears right now, because I remember, I don't even know. I think Karina sent me an invite and I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to check this out. And the timing was so perfect, because at that exact time we were getting ready to grow our team. And you kept popping into my awareness. And I'm like, I think now's the time. Now's the time to work with Cynthia. I didn't even know what you had going on. I just knew that it was time. Intuitively, I knew it was time. And so I think we were in a launch too. So I didn't have time to catch any of the videos, but it was Q&A. And I was like, I need to be on this Q&A. I need to be there. I need to catch what's going on. And I listened to some of the other girls that were in the program and I just felt it. I just knew it was time. It was time. So I was like, okay, this is it. I'm in. And then when you said, are you coming in to do more do you want to have a little bit of one-on-one? I didn't even know that was an option. And then when I looked, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like hands down, And so it was an easy decision for me because I trust in the alignment and I trust your ability as well in the craft that you do and what you bring forward, who you are, your strengths, and being able to blend the strategy and the spiritual. I mean, that's what I've always loved. And that's what I was longing for. I was missing that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I was not expecting to. I don't know if you see it over here, but I am just like cleaning up like teardrops, because you're right. Going back to that moment, I think we both saw this for each other. And the fact that, we've been part of this journey and now it's really coming to fruition. It's just a magical, beautiful thing. And it's also what I refer to as hashtag, but of course, right? So thank you for that. It's only been 2 months that we've been together in this container, and I'm the queen of hyperspeeding. There's a lot that can happen even in an hour. We all have the same amount of time, but you've accomplished quite a bit since being together in the last 2 months. Can you share some of your biggest wins since being in the VIP Inner Circle?
Yeah, I was feeling into this, and there's even more since the last we connected and had a check-in. So for Gabriel and I, we have been going steady, very strong. We have a lot of energy. We run by spirit, and so there's no shortage on energy. We're not the type of people that get tired. And I will say that there was so much of the masculine energy, which I love the balance between masculine and feminine. However, I was sitting a lot in the masculine, and my body took a hit in the fall where it stopped me. It was like, no, you have to tend to your nervous system. You need to rest. You need to stop. You got to pull back. And that was a huge recalibration moment for me, because I didn't realize, and of course, like double breastfeeding twins, the first 2 years, I slept maybe 2 to 6 hours in the beginning, the first year, 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night. And I just kept flowing, and so much growth was happening, and I knew. And that's where I believe the attraction energy really started to take place between this dance with you and I, because I knew I needed, again, the feminine. I needed soul. And I still like the strategy. I love all the parts and pieces, and I needed it to be more balanced. Yeah. And so in coming in, it was the first time in 3 years that as a whole company, all of us, and even our clients, they were so grateful when we did this. We said, okay, we're planning out our whole calendar, and we're planning out weeks off. Like, it actually maps out to be like 10 days off 4 times a year. And the whole company was like, what? This is amazing, right? And for us, it was so exciting. And even our clients, they were like, oh my gosh, we're so grateful that you guys are doing this, because you give so much. So that was the first major thing, like being able to do that and know that everything was okay. Like, no, but nothing's going to fall apart. Everybody's great. The team's great. We're all happy. So that was the first major thing. The second thing was because I haven't done like yearly vision boards in a really long time. I create and manifest in a hyper speed way. But there was something that you brought forward, like the monthly creations. This has been game changer for me. It's like so much so that even Gabriel, like, he's on board with it, and he's not a vision board type person either. So we get so excited now, and being able to bring in this, again, the spirituality and the strategy, and knowing what we're creating, and tune into that daily, right? Like at the end of every day, to tune into that. It has changed the frequency, and I like playing with energy. So this has been beautiful, because I feel like we're getting back to the energetics of business, which is what I've always loved. Then we put out an ad. We said, okay, we need to hire new people. We put out an ad. We didn't just get a handful of people. We had hundreds of applicants. And for the first time, Gabriel and I were like, well, we don't need to be doing the initial interviewing. Let's have our lead sales gal. Let's have her do that. And then we'll step in. And so we got it down to 6, and some self-selected out, which has been beautiful. And now we have this really great refined team, and everybody who's with us now feels so on point, and it's been amazing. And then I've been working the energetics and doing all the stuff that we've been talking about in the program. And we did an organic outreach, and we did a Facebook ads. And the Facebook ads is bringing in a little bit higher than what the organic is, but the organic outreach, all of us got on board. And this was something that I learned through you as well, to simplify it, because we were doing organic outreach before, and it felt it felt heavy. It felt really heavy. We've been doing this with the team. Everybody's having fun. Yeah. And refining, that was the other thing, refining the avatar. Like, we start out, remember when we started together, it was like, this is who we want to attract. And then when we got to talking, it was like, actually, no, this is really who we want to attract. And so we're all on board now with this through these practices and through what you've brought forward. And it's getting so clear and so refined. And all of us as a team are on this now. I could go on and on. Like, there's so many trainings that we've applied with our team. Like, there's at least 5 more that I could say, there's been so much. And I think the biggest overarching takeaway from it all is the efficiency of time and energy. I do feel like we're collapsing time. We're all having way more fun. We're all way less stressed. Yeah. And we're working on the energetics of it. And it feels, like I said, it feels fun. And of course, the results are huge. Like, we have over 800 people registered, and it's like a 45 to 55 split. Facebook ads, 55%, 45% coming in from organic. And that's been amazing. That's the first time ever that we've seen that.
This is everything that I stand for. This is everything I want for my clients. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be, oh, can I achieve that in 12 months? Can I achieve that in 6 months? It's been 8 weeks that we've been together, if that. So yeah, the things that I really know is that being a saleswoman, I have missed my children's birthdays. I have missed everything that was at the end of the month. So New Year's Eve, Halloween, like if it's the end of the month, we couldn't be there because we had to make numbers. Like that's what I have been conditioned to believe to be true. But when I became the CEO, not only of my business, but of my life, I realized the whole point of having business is to create a beautiful lifestyle, not have a lifestyle that revolves around your business. And that's one of the top priorities I want to teach my clients is that you can lead by example and you can create healthy standards and boundaries that allow you to be a surplus of all things good to serve fully and not be depleted as you're doing it. So I'm so happy that you're taking 10 days off like multiple times and it already happened within the first 2 months. It's beautiful. And then, yes, like you said, it's important that we have the structure, the structure and the strategies. But business is a spiritual practice. And I'm not here to give you the system and the strategy. I'm here to help you to channel your system that is aligned with you and your inner feminine beast, because that's what matters. Nothing outside of you, no strategy, no coach, no sales system is ever going to be the source of your success and your happiness. So we've decided what works best for you. When we make decisions, what does it feel good? It's not just thinking and being in your head, it's embodying the success. It's embodying the movement. And so I'm really happy that you're understanding that and appreciating that, and but implementing it and living it as well. The other thing too is, yeah, it's funny, but people don't think too much about it. But your ideal client is everything when you're making high ticket sales like we are, because we're not here to speak to thousands of people and sell something that's $50, right? We're here to sell something that's $1,000+ to 50 people. You need to really know who your person is, because when the teacher is ready, the student will come, or I'm sorry, when the student is ready, the teacher will come, right? We both know that. And it's really having them be like, yes, I see the value. Yes, this is no brainer. Yes, she's speaking to me. My coach knows where I am, where I want to be, and she's explaining that she understands exactly step by step how to get me there by being the bridge that fills the gap. And so we really identify that person for you. And because we adjusted that, I can see the momentum happening. So I'm so happy for you. Absolutely.
And I add one more thing that I forgot to tell you that you don't, I haven't had a chance to tell you this. So we put something else in place where we said, we knew the branding was going to change for this next module opening up. So we're going into intuition mastery. And so Cynthia is the only other person other than Gabriel and I and the designer that has seen this release as yet until Thursday. And so we put it forward. We said, let's give everybody the opportunity who is thinking about our program to pre-register before we release it, which I had never thought about until we had a conversation in one of the sessions. And we've had 3 people. There's 2 other people that are coming in today. So that'll be, by the end of today, that'll be 5 people pre-register before we even open cart.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you can sell before the offer. It's like, that's
a game changer.
Yes. And not just that, about this, we also price package and learn how to promote your one-on-one work that you're now pulling back in. And then the other thing too is, really just understanding that when you are a leader of your company, in order to have growth, obviously you need to be supported in the spiritual, but you need to have support of your team. You need to know how to effectively delegate, but it's not just giving to-do lists. It's helping your team be part of the vision and knowing their personal dreams and understanding how to create a career path that's going to inspire them, motivate them, uplift them, and want them to really show up. And so it's been so fun working with you, really coming up with a structure and what that path looks like for your team. And it was so fun doing that. Like, this is what I would recommend for compensation and bonuses and all things. And you were like, yes. And I just remember being like, I'm so happy that you're taking that away. So a lot of wins in 2 months, maybe in 8 months, we'll have you back on to see what's happened since then. But that's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. So what I love about you too is I've never doubted that this was going to happen knowing you, but it's almost like your miscongeniality. You have really fit in with the sisterhood of the ladies in the community, not just in the VIP inner circle, because as a reminder, anybody that's in the business consulting container, the VIP inner circle, also attends my spiritual success experience. So this is a $10,000 offer that is complimentary. So you're with all the women in there. Can you speak to what it's been like being part of that community and building relationships with the ladies in these programs?
It's been so refreshing because sometimes I feel like in certain containers, and even though I'll be the first when I'm leading, but when I'm in a group, I get very quiet. Like, I actually retract and I get very quiet and I take in a lot. I receive a lot because I can be a leader and I can be a student equally. So I really go into student, like, receiver mode. And this time in this container, I feel so comfortable and I feel like there's sometimes when you like, at least I've found this when I'm in certain containers, there's this competition comparison thing that comes up. I don't feel that with this group. It feels very loving. It feels very nurturing. It feels very whole. And I want to connect. I actually want to lean in and form relationships with the women who are here, because it's not only their level of success, it's all the other areas of their life that are important too. And being able to talk about all the other areas, to say like, hey, if I am having an off day, or I am moving through something, or, even supporting one of the other members, she was just learning how to meditate. I said, I've got a whole library of meditations. I'll just send some to you and it'll help. Like, and then she messaged me back and she's having all these amazing and work, like crying together, this is someone I've never met. And this is somebody through the container. And it just feels so whole. It feels wholesome. It feels nourishing. It feels supportive. And I really would say it's the first time that I, for myself, feel myself leaning in more than retracting back, which is what I've done in previous spaces.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for bringing that up. No, I've been in plenty of group containers as well. Obviously, I'm always investing, always growing, but I know exactly what you mean. And as a student, what I always say is what works, what doesn't, and what do I want to do differently, right? Because even as a mentor, when I'm teaching, I say I'm a really good mentor because I not only show you what to do, but also what not to do, because I've already done it. So no, I know what you mean about the competition. And I'm 100% mean that I want my clients to cross promote. I want them to work together. For instance, I know like Kim is inside Jen's program, and that, like everybody's doing things together. And that makes me so happy and I think that's important. And I believe in abundance mindset. I believe, and I joke around, I call it the Spice Girl effect, where we're all just better together. When somebody tries to go solo, it doesn't work as well. Trust me. So I really love that. You're fitting in, you're feeling that. And that's something I really wanted, was for the ladies to enjoy each other, to love each other, support each other. But I had no idea it was going to be to the level that it was. We have women in the UK who are getting together and going to tea and botanical gardens and having sessions, and accountability partners. I know that Dr. Aaron and Kim are meditating accountability partners every single day. Like, the sisterhood that's here gives me chills, and it blows my mind that it's gotten to the level of support that it has. So I'm so glad that you're experiencing that too. Now, you again are an expert at what you do. You've been in the industry for 21 years. You probably won't toot your own horn, so I'm going to do it for you. You've had clients such as Louise Hayes. Your husband has worked with Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Like, these are people we all know and dream about working with. Like, these are some of your previous clients. So you are not a newbie when it comes to topics of meditation, metaphysics. I'm all about mastering your mindset, all about understanding manifestation, everything intuitive. And we teach that inside the spiritual success experience. But I have noticed, except for the week that you took off, that you have perfect attendance. You're here for every single one of the spiritual success experience trainings. What is it like being as knowledgeable as you are, listening in on those subjects that you already know quite a lot about?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I love different approaches and perspectives. And I believe that every single person on this planet has a unique spark and genius aspect that they bring through, and the teachings can only come through you in a specific way, just like teachings can come through Gabriel. Like, him and I can teach similar things, but how I facilitate it is totally different than how he facilitates it. And I think there's such beauty in being able to connect in that way, because we learn from each other, and it's reminders, and because I find even myself, like, I've been meditating since I was 14. There's moments in a day where I forget my clarity, or I forget connection, because I get swept up in the world, or especially with the kids, or like moments before we hit record, one of the twins cut his toe in my heart, and I'm like, and I can feel that sinking feeling, And so if I forget daily, then I want to have reminders regularly too. I like connecting in those spaces, and I like receiving, and I like seeing different perspectives and approaches on even a similar topic, and again, for me, it's the plugging in, it's the being able to, because Gabriel said this to me too. He goes, you don't need another business coach. I'm like, I know, but I love having a business coach. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even so much what I need anymore. It's what I want, and it's what I choose, because I love it. I love being in spaces where we get to connect like that and uplift each other and support each other and just plug in, to plug into that high vibrational content And I always go to a trusted source. Like if I'm going to listen to someone, I'm very mindful as to what goes into my ears and my consciousness. And because I feel such a sisterhood with you, I feel like there's something beautiful that's going to come through, you know?
That is such a big compliment coming from you. Thank you. Yeah. So the thing is, I remember, going to the University of Delaware. I went to a school for a degree in marketing, minor in advertising. I cannot, off the top of my head, even tell you how many different business consultants I have worked with, marketing coaches, all the things. I have worked for successful business consultants. I never, ever, ever remember anybody talking about bringing God into business, making business a spiritual practice. Like, yes, it's like, about serving, but no one talked about being in alignment and understanding how to connect your higher self and intuition and bringing all the magic into what you do. It's funny, but I never did well at statistics in school. I did great at geometry and calculus and all the things, but I think it's like, because in my brain, I say, screw statistics. I don't believe in that. I believe in magic and miracles when it comes to emotional connection, earning trust, and doing high ticket sales to serve people. So I think that's, it's funny that we bring that up, but the reason why I have women inside the VIP inner circle go into the spiritual success experience, which is my 12-month mindset meditation, all about really just embodying, not just being a CEO of your life, the CEO of your business, but being the CEO of your life, is because it's not just what you do that matters. Yes, it's good to have structure, strategy, systems, but I like to sprinkle in the spiritual. It's not what you do, it's who you are. And that's so important. But there's another kick to it, and there's another reason why I do it. I created a multiple six-figure company within 6 months through the spiritual success experience. So when I'm teaching my clients in the VIP inner circle how this works and how, I did it, I don't want to do it based off theory. I want you to be immersed in the experience from a client and customer, point of view. I want you to understand like, that's what she's talking about. Oh, I see what she's doing in action. So now I can really soak it in. And that's a big part of it too. So I'm glad that you're enjoying that you're seeing that. So 2 months down, what are you looking forward to most in the program as we're together for the next 10 months in the VIP Inner Circle?
Yeah, continuous expansion, and expansion in a way that feels really good. Expansion in a way that feels really aligned and honoring. That's a really big piece for me right now, is to be able to honor all parts of my life and just continue to expand. I mean, we've always had hyper growth. It's kind of our energy. It's what we do. Hyper growth is our like normal, and hyper growth with honoring all parts, and being able to continue to connect and just go deeper and higher and infuse this wisdom to our team so that they are all on the same page too. And so, yeah, I've got goals. I can see them and I know them. And yet I feel like I want to stay really open and expansive at the same time,
When we had our first one-on-one session together, I loved how vulnerable you were, how willing you were, how open to receiving the ideas and inputs. And for me, what I'm looking forward to with you is really just playing with imagination, playing with curiosity. And for me, I already see it is simplifying even more what you're doing. So I know you're kicking butt in these launches. You're having fun. I love that you do it with your husband. It's like a legit party every time I see you two together. But the 5 days, get ready, Tara. They're going to turn into 3 days, which is going to turn into 2. And eventually you're going to be having the same results in your 1 day. I proved this to be possible. It doesn't have to be this long thing. That's a story that we told ourselves that, we conditioned to believe because the evidence of the past, it works, but it can get simpler and simpler. And it's interesting, but the more simple it gets, the better results you get too. So I'm really looking forward to that, showing you that and working with you on that. So underlying, really summing everything up, what do you have to say to the women who are considering joining the VIP Inner Circle? And do you recommend it?
Yeah, 100% I recommend it. And I recommend, if you can, do the one-on-ones, because for me, I love that extra attention and care. That's who I am. I love that. And I think it's so valuable to be able to have that deep dive with you, to go even more, and to have that personal connection. And I love it. So yes, 100%, I 100% recommend it. And I feel like anybody who's really wanting to expand, hyper growth, hyper speed, and be able to stay really grounded at the same time, this is a really beautiful space to hang out and do that, where that burnout thing, that I don't think that'll happen. I don't think anybody in this community will let that happen, unless you really are pushing for it, So I feel like having that balance, having the growth, having the support, having all the strategy and the spiritual combined, like that is the sweet spot. This is what I say to all of our people too. All of our clients know this. When you have aligned strategy and you have the spirituality and the energetics, there's this really magical space that you enter into where things you can plan to the best of your ability, but then all of a sudden something even better, something even more awesome comes as a result of it if you're willing to be open. So I highly recommend it. And I love you so much. I love all that you are, everything that you represent, everything that you bring forward, the attention, the care. Like when we have hot seats, there's a reason why she asks for an advance, because she actually brings like sheets and sheets and prepares, like Cynthia prepares to bring all that forward for us because she cares. And that's the one thing that I really appreciate about you too, is that you care. And I feel that about you. I know how much you love all of your clients and how much attention and energy you invest in all of us too. And so I appreciate you and I love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, nothing has ever lit me up in my life like this has. This container is truly my purpose. It's bringing spirituality and business together. And it's a no-brainer. Just the results that you're getting, that the ladies are getting. I mean, Jen Stoney is celebrating, multiple 5-figure cash month where she made more than 50% of everything she did last year in 1 month. I mean, Dr. Erin was having $1,500 months in her business, and within 30 days is up to $20,000 in cash. And the thing is, you were mentioning if they can do one-on-one sessions. In case anybody's curious what that means, we have a VIP Platinum, which means you get one-on-one sessions with me every other month. That's an upgrade. And then also everybody in the container though has access to all of my sales trainings, like ever. And if you have a team, have them watch it. Like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Abundance mindset, right? And it's not just that. You get hot seats where I coach you on your business during our sessions, and the other ladies are watching and learning from that. So I'm so happy that you brought that up. Thank you. And yeah, I know that this is really near and dear to my heart. Everybody's wins just like lights me up. My husband knows every one of your names because I'm constantly talking. She had this today and she had this today. But this is me doing the work that I promised God I would do. And so thank you for helping me to create even more freedom, help women to make more money and have an even bigger impact. So grateful for you and for being here today. Where can people learn more about learning about how to work with you as well?
Yeah, I think my website is probably the best place because you'll find everything there. So it's just taraantler.com, T-A-R-A. And then I always say antlers, like legit Antler. It was not, I didn't choose the name. Somebody asked me this the other day. They said, did you choose your name like Tara or Tara? I said, no, my mom got that. And she gave that to me. She goes, then what about your last name? Like you chose that, right? Because it's spiritual deer. I was like, no, I said, that's my dad's last name. Like that's legit, I was like, no, it's taraantler.com is the website.
Perfect. And so we'll make sure to put that in the descriptions, along with how to learn more and to join us in the VIP Inner Circle. And then I'm just, like I said, I'm so grateful to have you. Thank you so much for being here today. And for our listeners, acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through. Bye, everybody. Thank you.